This conference will now be recorded.
Right, so this is going to be the new concept which we are going to be working it out. So how to go for recording our transaction data, and when we particular transaction data, so we try to basically learn how to execute sales or you can also it as a
Jada, your voice is not clear.
cycle. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm just trying to work it out. We are trying to work out with this particular concept, transaction data, or you can also call it as under transaction data. We try to basically learn how we are going to be recording the sales and distribution sales cycle. So the forward cycle, you can call it as a sales cycle, or you can also address it as a forward cycle. And the sales cycle is going to be made up of different steps involved in it. So we need to basically understand like what are going to be the things which we try to maintain in this sales cycle over here. Like the starting one or the first concept we try to work out over here is going to be inquiry process, inquiry transaction. Now, why company will be recording when customer is inquiring about a particular product? For a particular product, there are going to be different reasons. The company will be recording this transaction basically for two things: to know the product demand, the product analysis. What is the demand for that particular product in the market? For that reason, they try to record this transaction. And second one, for statistics purpose, know the demand of a product in the market, like who all customers are trying to look for that particular product. So for different reasons, company will be recording this inquiry transaction form. And this is nothing but a pre-sale activity. They're not going to be considered as a sales activity. It's a pre-sales activity. Anything happening before sale. Now, once customer inquires about a particular product, now what happens? Now, once customers inquire about a particular product, we try to offer a quotation. So that's going to be the next step. We try to offer a quote to the customer. At what price we are going to be selling the product to the customer, we try to maintain that information, quotation. Now, when we try to create a quotation document over here, what happens? So we need to maintain the price information, best offer price. At what price we are going to be selling the product, we try to maintain that price information over here. And apart from that, validity period. How long this quotation is going to be valid for. We maintain that information as well. Best offer price and the validity period. So normally what happens when we inquire about a product, we need to offer a quotation as well. So in that quotation, we maintain these two pieces of information, price information and second one, validity period, for how long this quotation is going to be valid for. That information. So that's the reason we try to call it as a pre-sale, where there is a chance for customer to come back to the company for placing an order or may not. And once done with the quotation, next comes the sales order. It's going to be the next step. A sales order is going to be considered as a legal document. That means customer has agreed to the terms and conditions of the company and is trying to place an order, and we try to call it as a sales activity over here. We try to call it as a sales activity. Now, when you try to go for creating an order, there is going to be a lot of information which is going to be maintained, because this order document is going to be acting as a source for delivery as well as for billing. So a lot of information is going to be maintained over here. Like first one is going to be the partner functions. So who is going to be acting as our sold party, shipped party, billed party, payer, all that values are going to be maintained over here. And after partner functions, we try to maintain the material information. So for which material and for how much quantity customer is trying to place an order for. Then we try to update values related to the pricing. So selling price, discount, taxes, all that information we need to update it. Then details related to the payment, like how customer is going to be doing the payment, whether it is going to be one-time settlement or customer will be doing the payment in installments. So all that values will be maintained over here, payment terms. And then we try to specify plant information, from which plant you are going to be delivering the stock to the customer. We maintain that plant information over here. There's the most important thing, plant. And then we have shipping point data as well, using which shipping point delivery is going to be performed. That shipping point information also need to be updated. So as I mentioned, whatever values required for order, delivery, billing, all that information is going to be maintained in our sales order. This is going to be acting as a legal document. Lot of values are going to be maintained up over here. Lot of values. Okay. And once order has been created, then comes the next step, which is going to be delivery processing, which we try to call it as a delivery processing over here. Now, when we talk about this delivery, so there are going to be basically two types of deliveries to work out. One, we try to call it as an inbound delivery. The second one, outbound delivery. Now, what is the difference between these two, inbound and outbound? So inbound, stock coming in. When you receive anything, we call it as inbound delivery. Outbound delivery, stock going out of the company. We call it as an outbound delivery. Now, when you receive the stock, when you do any kind of purchasing, when we purchase the stock, we receive it. When sale is done, we send the stock out. So when transaction is done between company and the vendor, the company need to place an order to the vendor and vendor will be supplying the stock. We call it as inbound delivery. Or when transaction is done between customer and the company. So customer place an order to the company and company need to issue the stock. We work with outbound delivery. So SD department will be always focusing on outbound delivery, whereas MM department will be focusing on inbound delivery over here. Okay, so here our most important thing, we try to work out with outbound delivery. Outbound delivery, not inbound. Okay. So inbound delivery will be done by our MM team. Outbound delivery will be done by our SD department. And when you are trying to work out with this outbound delivery concept over here, there are going to be different things we are going to be doing it. It's not straightforward process. It's an integration with MM team. Because if MM team maintain the stock, then only we can use that particular stock for sales purpose. So in this outbound delivery, we are going to be looking into a concept called as picking concept. Like how we are going to be picking the stock. And once you pick the stock, we need to pack the products so that the products are not getting damaged. And then we try to issue the goods issue concept. So these are going to be the 3 steps involved in our outbound delivery. Picking, packing, and issue process. And once you're done with your delivery creation, then comes the billing concept. Business to business cycles are going to be getting changed. In some business, what happens once customer places an order, we need to do some partial payments and then only delivery will be done. Or some companies will be taking the order, once delivery is done, then only they charge the customer. So different companies will be following different business process. So here I'm trying to pick up a process where we do billing after delivery. And when we talk about this billing, we are going to be creating an invoice. Like what is the amount customer need to do the payment? We try to create an invoice over here, which we call it as a commercial invoice. Commercial invoice. So once you issue a bill, now what is the next thing? We need to collect the payments. So once you issue a bill, we need to collect the payments. So payments are not going to be coming directly. For that, first we need to go for creating an accounts document. We need to create an accounts document over here. That's the next step. Okay. So this would be the integration between SD and FIT. Creating an accounts document. Now, what you are going to be updating it to the finance department. We are going to be update billing information. Billing information to the finance department. So from which customer, how much amount need to be collected, that information is going to be updated to this accounts document. Update billing information to the finance department. From which customer, how much amount need to be collected, we need to do that. So whatever values you maintain in this commercial invoice, these values need to be posted to the finance department by creating an accounts document. Okay, and this concept is what we try to call it as revenue account determination. We try to address it as a revenue account determination. This would be the integration between SE and FI module. Once you post the billing transactions to the finance department, then finance department will be responsible for collection of the payments, which we call it as incoming payments. The finance team is going to be taking care of it. Collect the payments. Collect the payments from customer. So these are going to be the different steps involved in our sales cycle over here. So the process is going to be starting with inquiry, and then we try to convert that inquiry into a quotation document. With reference to quotation, order will be created. With reference to order, we create an outbound delivery document over here. And with reference to this outbound delivery, we create a billing. And with reference to this billing, we need to create an accounts document. And with reference to this accounts document, incoming payments are going to be collected. So these are going to be the different steps involved in this. Okay. So if anybody asks like what are going to be the steps involved in our sales cycle? What are the steps involved in our sales cycle? So the process is starting with inquiry. Then we try to convert this one into a quotation. So with reference to quotation, order, followed by outbound delivery. With reference to this outbound delivery, we try to issue a commercial invoice. And once this invoice is issued, we try to create an accounts document. And with reference to this accounts document, incoming payments are going to be collected. So these are going to be the different steps involved in sales cycle. Okay. So the process is going to be starting with inquiry and closing with incoming payments over here. Now, people call it as a sales cycle, but we have different terms as well. So they try to ask you whether you have hands-on experience working with QTC cycle as well. QTC. What are the steps involved in this QTC cycle? The process is going to be starting with quotation and closing with incoming payments over here. The process will be starting with quotation and closing with incoming payments. So there will be no order creation over here. We don't have the order process. The process will be starting with quotation and closing with incoming payments. There will be no order inquiry concept. There's one thing you need to know. Or we have one more cycle over here, which we call it as order to cash cycle. OTC cycle is what we call it as. Order to cash cycle. Now, when you're working with this order to cash cycle, the process is going to be starting with sales order and closing with incoming payments itself. And closing with incoming payments. So there is no concept of inquiry and quotation when you work with this order to cash cycle. Okay. So please understand the difference between all the three cycles: sales cycle, QTC cycle, order to cash cycle over here. So this is what we are going to be practically working it out on SAP as well. So how we are going to be recording all these transactions. How we are going to be recording all this transaction. This is basically done by your end user job role. They are going to be responsible for recording the transactions. So I'm just trying to start working out with the inquiry creation over here. So to create an inquiry, like what are going to be the transaction codes to work out? We have a transaction code V11 for create mode, VA12 for change mode, and VA13 for display mode. These are the transaction codes: VA11, VA12, VA13. And we have a document type. We have a document type to work out. And the document type used for inquiry is going to be taken as IN. This is nothing but a form where you need to enter all the values. The document type used is going to be taken as IN. This stands for inquiry. Then we have an item category which is going to be getting displayed up. So this item category will provide all the information related to your material behavior. Will provide all the information related to material behavior. Whether your material is relevant for pricing, relevant for billing, relevant for credit management, all such kind of features are going to be provided up. So when you work with inquiry, item category need to be displayed as AFN, which stands for inquiry item. And then we have some tables where your inquiry document information is going to be getting updated up. So we have a table by the name BBAK, stands for header data. So whatever values you maintain in customer master is going to be copied into sales document header level. Sold party is going to be the one. Sold party information. In the same way, item level, VBAP, it stands for item data. This will be holding the information related to material. Whatever values you maintain in material master will be copied into our item data also. Will be copied into our item data. And next one would be the reports. Sorry, third table, VBEP table, which stands for schedule line data. The schedule line data will be holding all the values required for delivery, confirm delivery date information. On which date we need to perform the delivery, all that values are going to be maintained up over here. All that values are going to be maintained up over here. And we have a report as well to work out. VA15 is a transaction code to see list of inquiries. What all inquiries has been created, we can see that particular list. VA15 is a transaction code for that. Okay. So all these things you need to be knowing when you try to record an inquiry transaction. So right now on system, we try to record this particular transaction and see what all information we need to maintain it as well. Let me log in. Okay, now see. So how to go by the path for recording this particular transaction. So it's a part of your easy access itself, getting to logistics. And under logistics, sales and distribution module. So if you get into the sales and distribution, sales. So expand this folder sales, inquiry. I have three options: inquiry, quotation, and order. We are trying to work out with inquiry transaction over here. So click on this inquiry, and these are the set of transaction codes: VA11, VA12, VA13 transaction code. So click on this VA11 transaction code, and this of the screen is going to be looking. This of the screen is going to be looking. We try to call it as an initial screen. We are trying to call it as an initial screen over here. Now, what values you need to maintain? Like first one is going to be the document type. The document type we are going to be using is going to be IL. And now trying to maintain the sales area information. By Sam, if you want to maintain the sales area, you can, but these are not mandatory. These are all going to be optional fields. If you want to maintain it, you can maintain it. So right now I'm just trying to maintain only the sales stock information and click on enter. So as soon as you try to click on enter, it will be taking us to the overview screen. In this overview screen, we are trying to maintain all the values, like who is a customer, sold to party, who is inquiring about the product. So maintain that customer number. So in case if you don't remember, try to search. So we get our customer number. I'm just trying to maintain it. Click on enter. So Y4, I'm trying to maintain it as Y4. And these are going to be the error messages you're going to be getting it. So all going to be your error messages. Okay. So in case if you get this such kind of messages, you need to know how it need to be resolved. Because the end user will be sharing all these errors to the consultant, and as a consultant, you are the one who will be resolving all these. In case if you want to know what exactly this error is all about, simply double click on it and total information is going to be shown up. No pricing procedure could be determined. What you need to be doing it, all that information also has been provided up as well over here. Now, first thing, I'm just trying to, these are all going to be one-time errors. Every time you will be not getting it. Whenever you are recording transaction for the first time, you will be getting it. Take a screenshot of it. Now, when you get this message, no pricing procedure could be determined. Now, where to go? What settings need to be maintained? Now, this one is related entirely with reference to your pricing. So, we have not discussed anything with reference to pricing concept. So, I'm just trying to show you how it need to be resolved. But later we can discuss this one. Okay. So, right now, when you see this message coming up, you need to basically get into a transaction code called as OVKK. It stands for Pricing Procedure Determination. Stands for Pricing Procedure Determination. Get into OVKK. So if you get into OVKK, okay. Now in this particular screen, take the help of new interest and maintain the following settings. The first field is the sales of distribution channel. Or distribution channel M6 and division Y4. I'm maintaining this values, sales area. And this document pricing procedure, trying to maintain it as A over here. Customer pricing procedure as 1. Pricing procedure RVAA01. And condition type, maintain it as PR0. All these fields functionalities, we are going to be discussing it when we try to look into the pricing concept. So maintain this, click on enter and try to save it. Try to save it. So I'm just trying to create a new request over here as an errors. Once you save this, and get back and try to record the transactions once again. So B11, maintain the values, M6, I4. Click on enter. Now maintain our sold to party information. Click on enter. And that's going to be the second error message. Control indicators not maintained. Normally this error need to be resolved by our finance team. They are going to be responsible for this. So if you get this one, control indicators are not maintained. Now where to go, what to maintain. So here, now if you get this one, you need to basically get into a transaction code double KP, where we are going to be creating our controlling area. There's nothing but maintain controlling area. OKKP is the transaction code used. Now what we need to do, so here, first thing, get into OKKP transaction code. Now select our controlling area over here. So click on position, SAIN is our controlling area. Now select it. And you can see an option by the name Activate Components and Control Indicators. So click on this one. Activate Components and Control Indicators. So click on this icon. So if you click on it, now in this particular screen, we need to take the help of new entries and maintain the required settings. So fiscal year is nothing but present year, which is going to be 2021. And you can see this options component not active. Please activate it. So I'm just trying to activate it, component active for each and everything. And if you see component not active or component active symbol is not available, you can maintain any of this. So I'm trying to maintain a palette calculation, and all these checkboxes also need to be activated. Activate it and try to save it. Once you maintain all these things, now try to record the transactions once again. Getting to V11, maintain all the values, sold to party, click on enter, record our ship to party getting copied up. No need to enter ship to party information. By default, it need to be getting copied up. Okay, that's the one. Now once you check it, now maintain the material. For which material customer is inquiring for. Whatever material we have created, enter that material over here. So we have created these two materials. So I'm just trying to work out with HTTP. I'm maintaining this one. And for how much quantity is inquiring for. Let's say it's inquiring for 3 units. I'm maintaining that quantity information as well. So click on enter. PR00 is missing. That's fine. You can ignore it. No need to maintain the price in our inquiry document. So maintain these values. Now click on edit from the menu bar and you can see an option by the name incompletion log. So click on this. Now what we are trying to do, if any data is missing in this particular document, the system is going to be giving us an updation. What values need to be maintained. So if you click on it, we need to get this particular message. Document is complete. So once you get this message, then only we can save it. And transaction is going to be getting recorded as well. So inquiry has been created successfully. Inquiry has been created successfully and all information has been maintained properly over here. So I'm just trying to repeat it once again. Just getting to V11 transaction code, maintain document type, if required, maintain sales area, click on enter, enter our sold party, the one who is trying to inquire about the product. Now once you click on enter, ship to party will be getting copied up. Now enter the material information. For which material and for how much quantity customer is inquiring for. Maintain that values. And then click on edit from the menu bar, incompletion log to see any data is missing. And once we get this message, you can see it. The inquiry document is going to be created. That's it. So if you want to do any kind of changes to this document, you can simply get into change mode, V12 transaction code. V12 transaction code, enter inquiry document number, get into details and do whatever changes you want to perform it. And all fields are in editable mode. You can do the changes.
What is this PO number and the PO date? Is it purchase order number?
Purchaser. Yes, purchase order number and purchase order date. And VA13 transaction code will be in the display mode.
And who is going to maintain that PO number and PO date? Is that from end
User.
user or end user?
User.
Okay.
End user will be responsible for all those things. Don't maintain it. Okay. And VA13 transaction code display. All values are in display mode. Simple. So this is how you try to record an inquiry transaction by maintaining all the information. Now, when we talk about the tables now, we have three different tables in which our inquiry document values are getting updated. So how to work with the tables. Now, as soon as you maintain your sold to party, shipped to party, beside this PO number, you can see this particular tab, header data. Header data. So click on this particular tab. So what all information we maintain in our customer master related to the sold party is going to be getting copied up over here. So we have different tabs. You can open each and every tab and see what values are getting copied from our customer master. This is nothing but header data. If we just come back, enter our material information, enter. Now, to work with item data, which is going to be VBAP table, this particular one, VBAP table, item data. Now, where to go? So to work with item data, place your cursor anywhere on this particular line item and double click on it. It will be taking us to item data, where information maintained in material master is going to be getting copied up. You can open once again each and every tab and you can check that values. We are going to be exploring it, don't worry. And we have an item category. So this is a place where you're going to be seeing that item category, AFN. Please check whether your item category has been displayed up or not. By default, these values are going to be getting displayed up. Now, how by default? We have some backend settings need to be maintained for that. So check item category has been displayed as AFN or not. So we are not working out with the scheduling tab right now because inquiry is a pre-sale activity. So not need to look for this scheduling date. When we work with our order, then only we can check it out. Okay. And now try to click on edit, incompletion log and save it. And save it. Done. The inquiry has been created. And in case if you want to see list of inquiries, what all inquiries we have created till now, VA15 is a transaction code for that. So execute VA15 transaction code. Enter. How the screen is going to be looking. We call it as a report screen, selection screen. So in this selection screen, we enter the values. We get another screen. We call it as an output screen. So here, let's say I'm trying to maintain our customer number, or you can maintain HTTV, material specific. We can see what all inquiries has been created. So maintain material, click on execute. What all inquiries has been created, that information is going to be shown up over here. So we have three documents, 53, 54, 55. These are the three inquiry documents which has been created up over here. These are the three inquiry documents. Okay. So this is how you try to basically go for recording an inquiry transaction in a SAP application by maintaining all these values. By maintaining all these values over here. Now, same process we need to work with our quotation process as well. Quotation. The quotation, I'm trying to take it up in our next class. It's going to be too early for us to work with all of them. So before that, try to work with this inquiry So in tomorrow's class, I'm going to be working with the quotation order, and I also try to show you how to maintain the stock levels. So 2 to 3 different things we try to work it out. Okay. So let me stop it for now. So I try to share this Excel sheet and the video. Please work it out and let me know.
And Mr. Jairam, please try to share the Excel sheet of previous classes also.
Yeah, it's an updation one. If I try to forward today's class, other classes also will be there. We can refer
Okay.
it. I try to
Thank you.
do it.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.